Hello everybody, welcome along to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. We are today back in Automobilista 2, having spent a few weeks actually running race rooms. So we're back in Automobilista 2, which is going to be fun. And I had this this wonderful idea that what we were going to do is we'd try every single car, truck, Kart, whatever it might be, and run them around Mount Panorama, Bathurst. One major flaw in my plan is that I actually underestimated how proficient Riser Studios were at creating cars. So looking at the numbers in terms of what lap times would be compared to how many cars are actually in Automobilista 2, I figured this is probably going to take more than one evening's work. So this is part one. Welcome along to part one of our Cars versus the Mountain series. So we'll see how many we can get through this evening, and then we will finish off the remainder of that next week. So we'll see how many we can get through on here. So first of all then, let's jump into the game itself. Here we go. Right. Now, the way this is going to work is I'm going to do them as a time trial. So we're going to do one lap for each car, or kart, or truck, whatever it might be. So we're going to do just a single one lap shootout and set a lap time, and then see where they stack up in terms of performance against each other. Now, there's very real chance that I could actually not get a clean lap in, but we will do our very best to do so. But how are we going to do this? I was originally thinking of maybe doing it via slowest to quickest, but I thought no, let's mix it up a little bit. We're going to do it by random number draw. So there's 110 vehicles altogether, so I've set a random generator for 1 to 110, and we're going to go by each one as I draw them off. So let's see what we actually start off with. So I have my list set up, and we're going to make our first draw right now. So let's get the number generator on. So we're going to hit generate. We are running 103. I don't know if you can see that. We want 103, which is, as I go down my list, the Opala 99 stock car. So there we go, that's our starting point for this evening. Let's find it in our list here, which is this one here. We're going Texaco colours, and we're at Bathurst. So let's load in. Evening Funky, how are we doing? Yeah, good. Yeah, every car is ambitious, yes. Now I was a little bit over ambitious actually in terms of my ability, because obviously you've got to load into the track every single time with a new car. So yeah, it's going to take a little while, but I think it's going to be a worthwhile experience just to try and see the kind of general weighting of how quick each car is. So good thing about doing it as a time trial here, we at least cut off the first part of the lap so you don't have to do an out lap and then straight into it. So here we go in the Opala, which has actually had a sound update since we last drove it, and of course the gearing is still as unique as it was. So here we go, we're at Mount Panorama, one of the most incredible circuits in the world, probably rivaled by only really the Nordschleife for its epicness. But here we go, we've gone through Hell Corner, we're on our way up Mountain Straight now, heading up towards a very tricky turn 2. Here we go. Try and pick our braking points into here. Okay, we've got it slowed down. We can attack this corner quite a bit because it's uphill. Ooh, trying to get away from me there. Now we're heading up towards the cutting. There's a little dab of brakes, possibly just to make sure we don't end up in Wincup's wall. It's a lively start already. Now we head up over the top of Skyline, which is where things really get very interesting indeed. Down towards the grate. Whoa, wobble wobble. Okay. To Reed Park. This is such a tricky corner because you crest the hill. And here we go. And now the plunge downhill begins. Not going to get down to second because it just won't like it. Through the dipper. Oh, it's such a roller coaster, it really is. It's such a good section. Just twisting and turning all the way downhill, down to the cutting. Second gear, engine screaming itself to death. Yeah, second gear really doesn't work very well in this car in anything but a hairpin corner. And then we made it, we survived the top of the hill, we're down Conward Straight, and we can have a little bit of a breather. Conquer the mountain, it says on the bridge, and that's what we aim to do down to the chase. We flat out through here, easily flat, get on the brakes early, launch it up on the curb. Ooh, bit of oversteer mid-corner, but we're okay. This is such a good car to drive around here, actually. We're only just started. Just going to leave it in third. Use the torque. We've survived our first lap of Mount Panorama, and that was a 2 minutes 22.4. So there we go. Just going to make a note of my time so that I can see where we're up to. So first one, Opala 99. We're on a 2:22.489. My high-tech pen and paper. Right, okay. First one done. Do love that car. It's yeah. When you get your head around the gearing, it's really fun to actually throw around. It's quite leery actually in a way. It kind of moves around quite a lot, but nonetheless very fun. Right, car number 2. Let's get cracking with these. Oh, didn't move very much. 105, which is going to be the McLaren F1 Street Car. Okay, right. Let's let that one load it up. Street cars, McLaren F1, going in that nice red colour. And here we go again. So, 2 minutes 22 to beat. I know the McLaren's a very fast car in a straight line, obviously, but is this going to be quicker than the Opala, I wonder? Is it going to be manageable over the top of the hill? Let's see how we go. Again, I'm going to be honest here and say that I haven't actually driven this car at all. Maybe I've tested it once, but not in any degree of running have I done with this thing. It's a fair amount of understeer through the last corner then. Okay, and away we go. The timer is running. Now, obviously, central driving position in this thing. So, trying to judge my distances to the wall could be interesting. Hopefully we don't graze it. The most expensive paint retouching job ever. Get turned in. Yeah, there's a fair amount of understeer in this thing, but then it is a road car after all. No. This thing is pretty wild, actually. If it's not understeering, it's massively oversteering, trying to catch you out. One thing I've got to do is not treat it like a race car, just try and treat it like it's a car that really is out of its depth in some respects. Let's try and thread it through here. Ooh. Well, we've missed the wall so far, despite desperately trying to. Ooh. Do need to make sure I'm not giving myself a commentator's curse, that's for sure. Light right foot needed, yeah, no kidding. It's yeah, very agile on the rear end. Trying to slow this thing down because I know how quick it can go. Of course, road car brakes as well. Oh, come on. And we are quicker. It's a 2 minutes 10.7. Alright. So despite my very understeery moments, so Muck F1 Street. We are at 2:10.7. That's actually not a bad lap, really, if you think about it. I mean, V8 supercars are doing 2:06s around here, so that's actually quite a quick lap. Okay. What's next? Let's get our generator on the go. Oh, we've gone to a different end of the spectrum. We're on number 25. Let me just check off where I'm up to on here. So 25 is... okay, the Formula Classic Gen 1 Model 2. Very specific. So Formula Classic. Up in the middle here somewhere. Formula Classic Gen 1... what did I say? Gen 1 Model 2, which is this one. So a V6 rear-wheel drive in a interesting red and green livery, but that's okay. Let's load it up and see how this goes. So there's again, I will say there's a few of these cars which I've not actually driven. Yeah, this could be an interesting experiment on stream. So it's great fun around the interlock without a loop. Yeah, I can imagine it probably would be actually. It'd be pretty quick, just trying to yeah, keep it on the track. Okay, here we go. Old school F1 in terms of 80s and lots of power. So this, in theory, should demolish our McLaren F1's time. Loads of boost. Just trying to be a little bit careful with this, just because I know there's a very real chance that I could throw this off somewhere. Over the top of the mountain then, goes a little bit light. Try not to spin it up on the uphill sections. Oh no! I think I have damaged it. The steering wheel's not in the right position. Well, I did say at the start of this video that there's every opportunity for me to mess up one of these particular laps, but we can just about coax it around, hopefully. The clip of the wall. You're probably looking at this thinking, what a wimp, he's not pushing this hard at all. I don't think I dare. Yeah, definitely on a funny angle on the steering wheel here, but we'll persevere for the sake of setting lap times. You really have to be so delicate with the throttle. It's because you go too aggressive with it and you will rotate, no questions asked. Yeah, we are quicker even with bent steering. So F1 Classic Gen 1 Car 2. We're on a I've missed it, what was it? 154.5. 54.550. Comfortably the quickest so far, despite a crash. Right, what's next? Okay, 42 is next on the list. Let's just mark this one off. 42. Okay, we're still in single-seater mode. So we are in some V10 power, I believe. Let me just check that. MP4 12. Yep. We're going with this one. This is a bit of V10 goodness. I haven't got the second brake mapped, and I don't think I dare try it at this stage. I think I shall just deal with the standard brakes for now, just to try and get used to it. It straddles the eras. Yeah, I think it probably does. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, some of these cars. I mean, they do have a few different tweaks between them, so they're not always going to be completely true to that particular era of F1. But yeah, it does definitely it does scare you when you drive that thing. This one I'm expecting to have a bit more grip. I'm going to use the paddles on this one, obviously, because we can. Usual lovely noise from a V10 F1 engine. Here we go, setting off on what could be a very, very quick lap. Oh, through turn 1, it's good. We're not chasing any world records, and I don't think we'll probably, or we might get 1 or 2 if there's someone who's not tried a specific car around here. This just turns in really nicely, loads of grip. I'm going to take the first part of the chase flat out because I don't think it'll work. This is pretty quick. Oh, no! Oh, don't again. The mountain has bitten me again. Okay. Well, that destroys my my wrists. I'm going to cheat here and just do that again because I think this car deserves to actually have a proper chance of it. This time I'm not going to hit the wall, I promise. Alright, let's try that again. So even though it hasn't got massive turbo boost like the V6 did, it can still, you know, really give you a fright when you put too much power down. Let's ascend the hill. I'll also try not to take first gear at the cutting this time. Short shift to third is to make sure the rear end's in reasonable check. Right, so this is where we need to be a little bit careful of the wall, with a bit more respect, hopefully. And up over the top. And then attack the downhill section. Bathurst really isn't made for F1 cars, that's for sure. Okay, so we survived the top of the hill this time. Just about. That's why I love Conrad Straight, you have a chance to actually take a breath. You can brake so late into the chase. Oh, get off that grass. Throttle up as early as you can, drive for the line, and we are quicker. 44.993. Okay. So the McLaren MP4 12 on our 144.993. Comfortably quickest once again. I was hoping we weren't going to get some of these really fast F1 cars to start off with, this to kind of give everything else a chance, but random generator says no. Let's mark that one off here. So next on the list is '85, which is, oh, we're back in Opalas again. This time we're in the 79 Opala. So that one will be, no, it's not that one, it's this one. Okay, so there's two different versions of this kind of Opala stock car. One has more power, that's why we're going to use both of them. So this is the one we're going to be running. Let's load in. Other piece of of something I wanted to bring your attention to. In our on our channel here, we have currently 399 teammates. So we're one away from making the 400. So maybe we might be able to make the 400 during the stream. So if you haven't already hit the red button below, you could be our number 400 to be part of our team here on SRB. So if you haven't done that, please do consider doing so. And we'll hopefully provide you with some fun and some entertainment on this Saturday evening. So a slightly more leisurely pace compared to what we were used to, but plenty of body roll. V10's the most modern F1 you drive because it occurs in the US. Confuse me. Yeah, they're more pure, aren't they, without all those extra parts. Wow, okay, lots of softness in the suspension on this thing. It could be fun over the top. Yeah, the V10s are nice though. It's just one of those noises which you just can't really overlook. I remember being at Silverstone a few times and there were F1 cars testing on the infield when there was something else going on, and just the noise of it was just amazing. Okay, turn in. Slightly more leisurely pace this time, but what we're going to do is, even though there are some slower cars in here which we work our way through, the idea is to see how it all stacks up in terms of pace relative to me and my ability. Because there may be some surprises. We may find that there's some cars which we think, oh yeah, they might not be that quick, but when you get them on the mountain compared to something else, there actually might be quite a surprise. So we'll see how we go. Because this thing's quite slow, there's a lot of full throttle moments around here at the moment. Of course, this bit isn't one of them. That was quite a major off, that one. Oh, I'm sorry, Opala. Right, we are going to do that again just because that's quite a major off. The body roll got me. Okay, now we know what we're dealing with a bit more. Let's try again. We have lift off on the inside wheel. So let me know what your favourite corner is around Bathurst here. Have you got a particular one that you love driving through the most, or is there one that in particular you just don't get on with? Let us know in the comments, see what you think. Just trying to coax the rear end to get around there. It wasn't particularly blunted. So why Bathurst then? Why did we choose this particular track out of all the tracks that are available on Automobilista 2? Obviously we've done videos in the past to cover some of the hidden gems that are in Automobilista 2, but why did we choose Bathurst? Well, first of all, as you've probably seen, it's quite a challenge. You can never really say that you have extracted everything out of a lap round here. So it's part of the challenge is not only trying to set a decent lap, but also trying to survive, as I am right now, and trying to get this car through the S's and out the other side safely. Oh yes, that was fun. Good evening, Patrick. Good to have you with us. I've died many times in the mountain. Yeah, I've died far too many times this evening, so there will be more, I'm sure. Yes, no, the mountain is definitely not one for an easy drive. Some of it's quite nice, you know. This bit here is, you know, there's no dramas to it at all. It's fairly straightforward, standard racetrack stuff. When you drive a car, of course. But yeah, just over the top of the hill, it really is just on the ragged edge the whole time. Back end came round. And there we go, a 241.299 with the Opala 79. Right, get my book back. Opala 79. And a very sedate 241.299, which is comfortably slowest of all so far. But I dare say probably not the slowest we'll actually experience around here. The final corner has a bump which always catches me out and spoils my life. The final corner here at Bathurst, I'm going to say this, is the most hardest corner on the course, because you may well get the top of it right. You'll get everything clean over the top of the mountain, you're on a good lap, you're doing well, and you don't want to throw it away at the last corner, but inevitably you do. So it is the hardest corner. Next number, 78. So let me just check off our Opala, so we'd have to revisit that. 78. So like I was saying, that probably wasn't the slowest lap that we will experience this evening. You're about to experience one of the slowest laps we will ever see around Bathurst, because we are going we're going karting with the GX390 Honda engined kart. This is probably only marginally better than the rental car, purely because it doesn't have the rental bumpers on it. So this could be a while. Oh dear. Yeah, the last corner makes me frown. Yeah, it does. It is very, very frustrating, because you just brake too late and you overshoot your apex for that corner, or you catch the curb just a little bit too much on the exit and it spins you around, or whatever it might be. It's particularly infuriating on iRacing, because of course if you go off track at that point, that's a 1x and your lap time's invalidated. So yeah, incredibly frustrating. But here we are. Now the question is, how much of the lap are we going to take completely flat? Let's see. I'll brake for this last corner just so I can at least start the lap. But what this does mean is it gives us an opportunity to have a chat and catch up, because you know, we've got plenty of time to do it, because we haven't got to focus on too much, especially on this next straight. So, hill corner. Flat out. Next. The next question is, will this actually make it up the hill? I'm hoping it will. So if our slowest lap time was a 2 minutes, I can actually look over here, 2 minutes 42. This is obviously going to be in a 3-minute barrier. Could we be on for maybe 3.5 to 4? Right. Find out. Will we take off through the dipper? So many unknowns with this kart. You just don't know what to expect. I think that drone up there is probably quicker. 3+ minutes, you reckon, right, Funky? Yeah, definitely. Come on. Don't die. Keep going. My revs are dropping. Still over 4,000 RPM according to my dash. One thing you do notice in these slower cars is that the trees kind of bend out of the way for you. I don't know if you noticed that before. It's getting this particularly steep section now, so if we can make it to the top of the hill, we'll probably blow the engine on the way down, because it'll be at maximum revs. But of course, with such slow speeds, we really have to maximise everything, so let's try and see how much we can do here. Let's aim for the grates. There we go, picking a bit of pace again. There we go. Trees folding out of the way for me, thank you very much. That's very kind. Up over the top. 105 kilometers per hour, which is pretty quick for one of these little Honda engines, to be honest. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to keep it flat through here. I think this is going to be a break. Yeah. I'm to wimp out. Whoa! Straight back on the power. Get out and push. Yeah, I'll probably get out and run. Might be quicker. Brake for the hairpin at the forest elbow and chuck it in. The diesel run out of there. So we're already over 2.5 minutes. The lap time of our Opala quickly coming up on us now. So we are now officially the slowest vehicle that we've tested this evening. But can't really say I'm surprised. Bathurst and Super V8s have become the end of my night routine lately. Okay. Still not going to do it both. It's a good way to finish your evening, that's for sure. I don't think line matters, staying awake is key. Yeah, definitely. But no, Super V8s around here, it's a combo you just can't ignore really, it's just so fun. It's what it was made for, obviously. So, is the chase flat out? Did I need to ask? Okay, we're actually nearing the end of the lap. We're at 3.5 minutes, which I think Funky was going for, so we're just a little over that. Maybe a slight lift for the last corner. Yeah, just a slight one just to make sure I don't run off. We're doing a 3:45.9. We made it round. And you know what's particularly impressive about that? I'll show you that in a minute actually. So we got the race Honda Kart, and we've done a 3:45.989. Those tenths, hundredths and thousands of seconds are obviously extremely key with vehicles like this. So the really cool thing about that particular lap is, when we load back in, why is that not registered? That's not fair. That should have been a... I don't think I ran off track anywhere. Oh, that's gutting. I thought I had a world record then. Oh well, we'll have to try again. Right. Let's have a look. What's next? So that was 78, which we've checked off. Next on the list, number 32. We're back in single-seater mode. Formula Classic Gen 3 Model 2. Okay. Formula Classic Gen 3 Model 2, which is this one here. So we're in V10 power again. This one's slightly more modern. This is kind of based around early 90s, which, as you can tell, is a more popular vehicle to take around Bathurst than a Honda Kart. So, okay. This one, I will try my very best to do this in one lap rather than having to take a second go at it from binning it in the wall. So we'll see how we get on. Again, not one I spent a lot of time with, I will be honest, but it should be reasonably straightforward. Not sure if this should be H pattern or not, but I'm going to run it with H pattern just because. Who doesn't love hustling an old F1 car with an H-pattern gearbox? Okay, and we're away. Already significantly quicker and further down the straight than we were with the cut. Bit of a wobble. Try and keep off those curves if we can. Easy on the throttle. Okay, we're alright so far. You know what happens when I say things like that? So conservative over the top there, I really just didn't want to chuck it off. Which of course is what I did. Sometimes it works like that. Sometimes if you're too conservative, you actually make more mistakes. Have you found that? I'm going to use some paddles just so I can keep a control of this thing. Because I think it is paddles, he is shifting with his fingers, so... For immersion's sake, we will use paddles. Might also give me a chance to actually keep control with both hands on the wheel. Okay, so we know where our danger point is. Let's try and keep it neat. Crunch indeed, yep. Welcome Azaris. Good to have you back with us again. Let's shift to third a little bit early there just to ensure that we have some traction at least. Oh, massive understeer. Okay, right. Let's get it slowed down this time without hitting the wall as well, which is a big help. Very key to try and keep it over to the right hand side as much as you can before the elbow there, just to try and open the corner up, because it's very easy to just take too much speed into that and you end up being mid-track and then all of a sudden you're on the corner and there's no way of getting around it safely and cleanly, so you've got to have a bit of restraint going through that last part of the downhill section, flat out through the chase. There we go. That was a 148.4. Where does that stack up in our list so far? Ooh, it's not as quick as the McLaren, that's for sure. So F1. What do we say? We're on. Is it Gen 3? So many of these different models. Yeah. So Gen 3, Model 2. And that was, get my, so 148.480. So that puts it second, so the McLaren MP4 12 still currently leading the way with a 144.9. Okay. Let's come out of this one. What's next on our list? Let's have a look. Number 50. What's number 50 on our list? Okay, so we're still in the single seaters, Formula Vintage Gen 2, Model 1. So let's go back in here, Formula Vintage. Now Gen 2, Model 1, which is this one. Okay. Let's go for it. This is yeah, again, going to be an interesting ride. It's a step backwards in technology. We have effectively a Ford DFV engine in the back. Cross-ply tyres, basic aero, and yeah, lots of potential death. Oh no, this one's going to be a handful, that's for sure. Okay, H-pattern time it is. Try not to drive this completely slowly, but at least try and keep it together. Massive understeer. If that's going to be the story over the top of the mountain, this could be, yeah, interesting. Ooh, I can't even keep it in a straight line. They are made for sliding a little bit more, these F1 cars, compared to everything else, so I have to do a bit of coaxing with the rear end. Can't go full throttle up the hill because because it's like trying to do a burnout constantly. You are constantly fighting this thing. Oof. No, I'm not going to shift up to 4th. It's going to take my medicine and just keep this going in a relatively straight line. No one heard that little graze then. Oh, okay, we just about made it. We need to be aware of the next hill on the Commonwealth Straight, just in case the rear end lights up again. This one's a little bit more gentle. I second guessed myself going flat through the chase. Just as well I did, because it was starting to go on me. Now, the famous last corner, let's get it stopped, keep it on the island. And we have, okay, a 2:13.3. Not bad considering its age, actually. So, F1 Vintage 2, Model 2. Oh no, what? 2:13.384. So that's slower than the McLaren F1 Street Car by 3 seconds. But yeah, so not too bad of an effort for an old F1 car that's mostly made up with huge power down the straights. Because that's the only time you can actually put the power down. Next on the list is number, let's just check this one off, number 78. We've already done that one, so we can't do that one again. As much as I enjoyed racing the Honda Kart, I don't think I'm going to do that again. Okay, next on the list, number 73. We are going touring car mode for this next one. So let's load up the, where are they? Trying to find one here somewhere. Where are they? Hotcars. And we are in, which one was it? It was the Fusca HC1, which is this one here. So there's two different versions of the Fusca, or the Beetle. From what I can tell, really the only difference being the bodywork on the front end. So we're in this one with the lower front splitter for added downforce. So where's this one going to sit in then with our list? So, quick recap. So we've got the Opala 99 stock car on a 222. Could be in and around there, maybe. It's going to be quicker than the Opala 79 at 242, that's for sure. So I'm going to probably go anywhere between 220 and 235. Just my guess. Although, it could be slower. Right, come on then, little Beetle. Let's see what we can do. It's a rear-wheel drive on this thing. The One Make Beetle Cup series on AMS2 is one of the ones we highlighted as a hidden gem because it was just so fun to drive and race as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Hotcars version compares. Slightly more modified, obviously, we can see with the bodywork, and it's got some slightly flared arches as well, so grab some coffee, this is going to take a while. Not as bad as the Kart. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty nice to drive actually, it's quite easily chuckable. Forgot I was actually in second gear then. No! There goes all of our momentum. Okay, we can't afford any more mistakes, we've got to maximise the rest of the lap because we're just throwing away a chunk of time. So that little rise just before you get into Reed Park there is what can unsettle the car quite significantly. Talking of unsettled, the Alpine skiing run starts now. Oh dear me. It's not even enough power to turn it around. Right, let's give that another go. Oh dear me. Right. Now we've got to ascend the mountain all over again. So, key things to take away from driving this car so far. One is to keep track of what gear you're in. And the other one is to remember that it is essentially rear-engined and as such has unique handling characteristics. We will set a lap, I promise. We are going to set one. But I'm certainly not going to take the rest of the evening and try to get a lap time. What is going on? This thing is trying to break my wrists or my thumbs, one of the two. Okay, this is the last opportunity for this Beetle to give us a lap time. Let's try and survive. Come on, let's concentrate. It's either sideways and spinning or slow and bogging. It's one of the two. And this is another reason why I figured out that I was quite ambitious with my target of doing every car this evening. Purely because I knew there'd be instances like this where I'll just have to restart. So if you have joined us halfway through, this is going to be part one. We're going to do part two later on, probably next Saturday. Okay, come on then. Still trying to get used to the gearing. That's the thing, when you jump in between different cars, you do have to adjust a little bit. Okay, mind myself, stay in second gear. Come on. Go do the karting thing, just kind of try and bounce to get some traction so we can actually get moving. Okay, still in second gear, to third. It's just dropping off the mountain is where it really all can quickly come undone. Especially when he's trying to push on for a decent lap. Better, it's a bit neater. Get on the brakes early, keep it over to the right hand side. Back it into the elbow, just about. Missed all the walls. Okay. Just 2 corners technically to go. We can scratch the Fusca Hotcar version of our list, well this version anyway, we've still got another one to do, but at least we've learnt, if we do come up with that one, we've learnt how to drive it a little bit better. Flat out for the first part of the chase, braking about 125, balancing it on the throttle. And then that last corner, which we have messed up on multiple occasions. Not this time, we managed to get through it. And we're done at 2 minutes 40, so slower than I was expecting it to be. That's good. Right, so Hotcar Beetle 1 was a 2 minutes 40.621, which is only 2 seconds quicker than the 79 Opala, which isn't much actually. I'm surprised with that. I thought it would be perhaps a little quicker than that, but Okay, next is just gonna get these out of the way all of a sudden right now. Formula Classic Gen 2 Model 1. Okay, more Formula action. Formula Classic Gen 2 Model 1. Now this is V8 powered, 580 horsepower, and more opportunities for me to rip corners off, take front wings off, and yeah, generally crash. So let's see how this goes. So we've got some things we can aim at for this one. So what is it? We should be in the region of a 154, judging by the previous iteration of this car. So 154 is the target. Oh, sounds good. Right, okay. Let's get a feel for it and then unleash the V8. Tell you what, when you come from the slower cars, all of a sudden it actually feels like you're moving a lot quicker than you think. If we were just running Formula 1 cars around here, this would just be like, oh yeah, just another fast car, but jumping in from a little Beetle, this is in a different league. Whoa, don't touch that curb. Gotta be super neat. Gentle on the power. Up over the top. It's neat so far. Grounding out through the compression. Oh, this thing feels so planted in comparison. There's a little touch with the wall. Got away with it. F1 cars don't like getting airborne over the dipper. Slightly messy on the last part of that lap, but nonetheless we're up and away. Don't think this has 6 gears. Oh, it does. Okay. It's a pleasant surprise. Going cross-gate down the gears, it's so satisfying. Up and over the line, and we've done a 54.4. That is literally a 10th quicker than the Gen 1 car. F1 Classic Gen 2 Model 2, was it? I can't remember. A 154.445. Yeah, this is pretty much. Yeah, it's just about a 10th quicker. Not much in that. Okay. So that was a V6 with big turbo power as well, that first one, compared to a V8. Interesting. Okay. Next, we've gone higher up our list. So, 93. Let's check off the Model 1. 93 on our list. Ooh, this is going to be a popular one. We are going prototype racing. So let's jump in. It is a P3 car. We're on the Rocco 001, and a lot of people really like this car. We really like this car. The Nemesis is quick around here. I'm not going to be as quick as him, that's for sure. But this thing is good fun to drive. So it should be reasonably balanced through here. I'm hoping that we can keep good control of it, and yeah, not crash, but anything can happen. You can see my driving this evening, it could easily go very wrong very quickly. Okay. Come on then, Rocco. Let's give Brazil something to be proud of. So prototype car should have plenty of downforce. But still plenty to play with on the rear end as well. So obviously not as quick in the straight line as the Formula cars, so hopefully we can make some time up through these corners. So the cutting we go. A little bit of understeer into there, but then this track is just so unlike most other tracks out there that it demands a very different kind of setup of a car. It really will bring out the worst of any car. Having 6th gear over the top, that's ambitious. Tight. Not too bad though. It's reasonably controllable over the top. It does handle nicely, this car though, so that was to be expected. Flat out in 6th gear. There's all the road on the way in. Second gear wasn't quite. It's a bigger gear indicator. Yeah, I can't quite see it. I can't quite tell what gear I'm in. There we go, across the line, 2:14.6. Okay, not a bad lap. 2:14.6. 0.640. Rocco 0.1. So where does that put it then? That's still slower than that McLaren F1 Street Car, which is a 2:10. That's interesting. Okay. Next. We are still in high 90s for this next draw. Ooh. This one's going to be fun. On many levels, partly because it's a wonderful car, partly because it sounds amazing. Okay, it's Procar time. This thing is just, it's just amazing on every level. Really raspy straight 6 BMW engine under the bonnet. Some aero downforce, but not a huge amount. But yeah, this is going to be so cool. I'm just hoping I can keep it out the wall if possible. Here we go. So nice. And the Procar series was quite a thing by itself. A full grid of these BMW M1s howling around various Formula 1 circuits of the time as a support race to Formula 1 itself, driven by the Formula 1 drivers of the day. So that's back when F1 drivers are allowed to drive other cars. But yeah, quite a series. Yeah, I can imagine this being a lot of people's favourites. For a very good reason. Oop, the traction breakage on the exit there of the cutting. Sliding up towards the wall. Trying to keep it as quick as I possibly can over the top. Slightly wide of the apex. Come on, this has got to be a good lap. So the elbow. No! Okay. Hopefully that didn't cost us too much, because the rest of the lap was pretty nice. Do it justice, please. I'll do my very best. I want this car to do well in our rankings. Really do. This is so beautifully balanced. Up over the line with a 2:15.3. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. For some 80s technology and oh yeah. Definitely in terms of smile-inducing drives, that was yeah, that was awesome. Okay, M1 Procar, 2:15.351. That's it's not a bad lap actually. There's a few cars in that kind of low teen kind of section, so yeah, that was enjoyable. I enjoyed that. It alone was worth 200k. Yeah, well, yeah, sorry, just a flesh wound. Yeah, there's not too many of them around these days, but you do see them on various historic race meetings, so if you ever do get an opportunity to go and see them, I think they race at the Nürburgring quite a bit, but also they have appeared at various classic endurance races as well, so definitely worth seeing one if you can. Sorry, 70s, not 80s, my apologies. Yep, you're quite right, Azaris. Yeah, all the excitement got to me then. Right, next on the list. Okay. We're down the list a bit further. 44. Okay, back into the formulas. Where are we? We are here. From one screaming vehicle to our next one. This is the Formula V12. So again, mid-90s kind of era. Slick tyres, lots of power, incredible noise, and yeah, so this should be fun. Back to the high-speed stuff, which obviously I'm expert in. Yeah, this could be another wild ride, I think. I just want to do more laps in that M1 Procar, to be honest. Okay. Alright. The screaming V12 versus the mountain. Definitely a sound that F1 misses these days, that's for sure. Quickly back into high speeds again. Brake about the 100 mark. So far, considerably easier to handle than the other Formula cars, even the V10 actually. grounding out once again. Oh man, this is quick. This could be on for probably the quickest lap time so far if we can keep it together. Yeah, I was hoping we were kind of space out some of these cars, but it really is. But I think it's probably just because there's so many classic F1 cars in Automobilista too, but it was inevitable that we were going to catch a few of them. Hard on the brakes into the chase. Oh, it's teetering on the edge of the curb there. Good one. 49.2. Where does that put us? Where does that put us on the overall? Oh, we're not quickest though. Formula V12 on a 149.270. Apologies for the very crude nature that I am writing these down on my book, because I haven't got a way of doing it nicely on the computer, but we will do a complete table and we'll post it on our social media so you can see where we're up to as well. That has actually put it third quickest, so the McLaren MP4 12 is the quickest so far at 144. Next one after that is the F1 Gen 3 at 148, so third quickest for the Formula V12. Undoubtedly there's obviously more speed we can extract out of these cars, should we do more than one lap, of course. But on a one lap shootout, that's where it stacks up. Okay. Next one, we're getting through these reasonably well, so let's see where we can get up to. Okay, it loves that Honda Kart. That's the second time it's pulled that up. Okay, we're going further up the list here. Okay. So from the crazy fast to the downright ridiculous, I think you probably know where I'm going with this. We're in the man truck, a man's truck. Okay, so there are going to, of course, be 4 trucks that we're going to take around the mountain. So this is going to be number 1 on the list, the Man with its massive front splitter. But these Formula trucks are just, well, they're just insane, aren't they? 1300 horsepower, heaps of torque from the big diesel engine. Yeah. Now I'm imagining there's going to be a fair amount of understeer to deal with here, so let's try and keep this somewhat civilized, without going to meet the fans at the top of the mountain. So where's this one going to stack up, do you think? This is going to be quicker than some of the Opala stock cars. I mean, we're quite quick in a straight line. Obviously we're going to lose out over the top of the hill. And of course we're not going to be adhering to the Formula truck rules of staying below 100 miles an hour. Just going to keep it pinned because we're unrestricted. This is a hot lap situation, but I am going to have to brake 2 continents back just to make sure I make it into these corners. not a fan, Azores. Don't worry, it's only for 1 lap. And I'm hoping I can just keep it to 1 lap without stuffing it into the wall. It's almost as if we've just stolen one of the mechanics' trucks just to go for a quick spin. Turn. Okay, this is what's going to scare me. Oh, nice view off the top. You can see right over the barriers. Not that we have too much time to properly enjoy it, because we've got to negotiate one of the hardest sections in motorsport. Ah, barrier. No! Dodgems. Come on. Luckily these things are pretty tough. Like the idea with the understeer gives me a headache. Yeah, no, absolutely. I am actually, I'm going to say this, I'm actually quite disappointed with the Formula trucks in AMS2. I like AMS2 a lot. I think it's really, really good in many aspects. But I do feel that I may have just about got that stopped. I do feel that the trucks were actually better in the original Formula truck game. It actually felt more like a drivable vehicle than it does in here. But I'm sure it'll work and get better as it goes. 243.8. Okay. Also Formula rim on a truck, yeah. I know. It's not ideal, that's for sure. Man truck, okay. 243.8. It is the the second slowest, so it's quicker only than the Honda Kart, which is not surprising actually. Okay, moving swiftly on. What else have we got? We can mark that one off quite comfortably now. So, next one on the list drawn up is number 69, which is quite a difference. We're going GT racing now. We're in GT4 and we're taking the beastly Camaro out on track. It's going to be good. Trucks and AMS2. Really like the Copa Montana, but that's not much of a truck. Yes, the Copa Montana is very good, and I'm looking forward to driving that around here because that's going to be quite a quite a ride. Yeah, the trucks, yeah, they're just a little bit lacking in terms of how they drive, unfortunately for me. Which is a shame because I really, really like them in the original Automobilista / Formula Truck titles themselves. So I can just have my fingers crossed. I hope that they actually improve in terms of the driving experience. No, not fourth gear. Here we go. Yeah, I'm thinking it can be tyre model related. I mean, the trucks are very unique for what they are. So this is a GT4 car. Should be quite different to what we just experienced. Just try not drive it like a truck. Up the hill we go again. Still on an early access tyre model. Okay, that'll explain it. So hopefully when they get the proper tyre model, then that will start to feel significantly better. So GT4 cars then, we know that they are an entry-level-ish form of GT racing, designed to be more accessible for those who have the budget to do GT racing but don't want to fully throw themselves into GT3. So they are modified from their road-going versions, but still fairly basic in terms of the technology. Big rumpy V8 in front of us in the Camaro. I honestly thought I was going to find the wall going into there, but we managed to avoid it. Reasonably neat lap so far. Grand Truck 4, yeah. Anyone hear Blake Grand Prix 4? Back in the day, I think it was right in the same, the last of the Jeff Crammond era Formula 1 games. I remember playing Grand Prix 2 for many hours. Threw back it into the chase because I wasn't paying attention, lost in my memories. Which managed to survive somehow. There we go, 219.5 for the GT4 Camaro. Most of the 480 horsepower on the Camaro is used to make the noise. Yeah, there's quite a lot of energy taken up in that noise, I think, isn't there? Camaro GT4 219.583, not a bad lap. Puts it on the higher end of things in terms of non-F1 cars, but not a bad lap at all. Okay, next we're on a whistle-stop tour of all the cars in AMS2 this evening. We're not spending an awful lot of time with each of them, but we are going through as many as we possibly can in this part 1, and then we'll tidy things up with the part 2 as well. So, next one, let's mark off our Camaro 84. Hasn't been done, but we have done one very similar. We're in the what's known as the old Opala stock, which is this one. This is the one with more power than the 79 version. I wonder whether they tightened the suspension upon this one or not, because the last one was just like blancmange, really. But yeah, 297 brake horsepower in this one. 5-speed H-pattern gearbox. If I can get my words out. But never owned a computer that could run GP4. It was in that era, yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one does still move around, but probably not as much as the other one. Just with more power. Let's see if we can keep this in check down the mountain. So far this is actually nicer to drive than the other one. Definitely tell the difference in power compared to the other stock car. Bets on Phil getting around in one lap. Ooh, yeah, brave man to say yes he will. Picking the inside wheel up through turn 2 there. That's what I like to see. Good fun when that happens. I want to change that to second gear then, because it's just probably going to be a bit too quick for it to not rev itself to death. Oh, that's close. So the other thing is, of course, we've already learned a little bit about this type of car, so we can actually hopefully survive better. This is actually mega fun. It's the same place. Funky, you have just put the complete curse on me there. Again, saying how nice the car is to drive and how balanced it is really doesn't work in my favour. I feel like I let myself down there. I should have nailed that lap. It's okay. We'll give it another go. I think any other circuit other than Bathurst where you just get punished for making one error, this car would actually be quite a lot of fun to drive and race, actually. very basic in its interior and general technology, but it does move around quite nicely. Really don't like weight transfer. No. And camber and elevation changes. Okay. Let's try and be a bit more restrained down the hill, shall we? Nearly went again. It's not a rally car. It sometimes feels like one. Has way too much ride height compared to real life. Oh, okay. Ah, that will explain the body roll as well then. So I don't know whether you can lower it far enough on the settings, but probably not. I'm going to have to look them up actually just to see what they actually look like in real life. That would be interesting to see. Things moving around constantly. There's that last corner coming to get you. 233. How does that compare to the slower version? Okay, so it's basically 9 seconds quicker than the 79 version. Oldstock Opala. It was a 233.006. Okay. Just happens to take 2 takes to get that up. That's alright. Ah, so you can't get it low enough. Ah, yeah, that's a shame. That is a shame. Alright. Another one off our list. Okay. Let's get this done and over with. We're taking the 125 two-stroke kart out on Bathurst now. So this should not be the slowest vehicle we take on track because we've taken the Honda, which should be slower. This thing has a massive, whopping 28 horsepower engine. It's a 1-speed gearbox because it's direct drive, naturally being a kart. 155 kilograms of weight. It's quite heavy actually. And 14 newton meters of torque, so loads to play with. Here we go. Oh. Right. Obviously, being a two-stroke, it revs like crazy. There may be a little bit more braking involved compared to the Honda Kart. So these things are so twitchy when you've got so little in terms of steering lock available. Okay, so we can sit back and relax a little bit. Dashboard flashing at me like crazy because it's like you're on maximum revs. So we're catching an extra 10 kilometers an hour faster down the straights. And your DD wheel has more torque than your vehicle. Flat out through turn 2 as we can with the hill. Yes, that's a good testament to how far we've come in terms of sim racing, that we now have hardware that creates more power than some of the karts we use to drive on track. Not that you'd ever really run a DD wheel at that high a torque. You don't really need to, unless you're driving some really, really old thing with no power steering whatsoever, or a power steering car that has failed power steering. But, majority of the time this thing is fairly easy to drive on this track. And occasionally when you have to put a little bit of steering input in, it gets a little bit pointy, shall we say. And down the hill we go. It's pretty quick through there, really. Tell you what, it makes the Forest Elbow corner look really quick, actually. Normally it's seen as quite a slow corner because you're just trying to scrub off loads of speed coming down the hill, but in this you just take it so fast. Fine, let's get his crop in on the field on the left there. That's good. Almost see what they're having for dinner in the house there. Some people camping. Well, pretty disappointed if they came to a race meeting and this was the only offering. Okay, into the last part of the chase here. Keep it pinned. Yeah, no problem. So we have a, can't quite make it out from my book. It's a 3 minutes 45 from memory to beat the other Kart. And it's come to be quicker, a 3 minutes 3. Alright, well, my ears are now ringing. So, we have 125 Kart, 3 minutes and 3 seconds, 964. So that was, yeah, 42 seconds quicker than the Honda Kart. So it wasn't slowest as we expected. Okay. It's those two ticked off. What else have we got? 38. Okay, we're back in single seaters again, but we're not in Formula 1 cars, so slightly different single seater to play with this time. On effectively what is the Formula Ford, the Formula Trainer. So again, not a car that I've driven particularly much in AMS2. 120 brake horsepower, 4-speed gearbox, and yeah, Formula Ford is such a big training ground for a lot of drivers. A lot of up-and-coming drivers started off in karts, obviously, and then when they progress through the cars, this is normally the platform that they would go to if they were trying to seek a route through to Formula 1. So, very popular in club motorsport all around the world. Usually because it creates quite close racing. The slipstream battles are usually pretty epic as well. So let's see what this is like to drive. We're on treaded tyres, as you would find in most Formula Ford classes. For a moment I thought I was still in the kart because I'm changing gear. That wasn't the run up the hill you wanted. Because there's only 4 gears to choose from, there probably won't be that many gear changes on the lap. Okay, brake at the 100 board. And again, being a lower powered car, you try and maximise your corner speed where you can. Bogs down quite easily though, running such few gears in the gearbox. One of the things I always remember of Formula Ford is speaking to someone who came out of karting and went into Formula Ford is that the problem is obviously the wheels are stuck out very exposed on each corner, and if you do end up touching another car, making contact with it, and you rip one of those corners off, it's £1,000 a corner to put it back on again. So the costs certainly ramp up when you come out of karting. Imagine doing 200 kilometers an hour in this coffin. Yeah. It certainly would be. There we go. We're over the 200 kilometers an hour mark. Yeah, I can imagine it being quite a scary experience, especially here. I think they run Formula 4 at Bathurst as some of the support races, I believe. I may be wrong. Probably one of my favourite sections of the course, actually, the chase. It just flows nicely through there. And we're done at 2:33.1, which is reasonably slow, actually. But then, kind of expecting that in a way. So, Formula Trainer 2:33.121. So where's that putting it? That's pretty far down, really, in the grand scheme of things. Okay. Next up, what are we on now? 19. I'm pretty sure we've done 19 already. Let's check. No, we haven't. Well, let's try and get these out of the way early then, shall we? So this one's for you, Rosaris, by the way. Let's check and make sure it was actually the Mercedes. Yes, it is. Okay, more truck time. The Mercedes is quite subdued in terms of its aero. Some of the Copa trucks have quite crazy aero devices on them, but by Copa truck standards, the Mercedes is quite subtle, even with its pink detailing. Okay, understeer central. Here we come. Now, I'm not expecting this to be much different to the MAN truck that we drove earlier, because obviously they're fairly equally matched and they're from the same class. So we'll drive it anyway, as it is one of the cars in AMS2. But of the even Nemesis, I couldn't bother with this one. No, there are some that he avoids, I'm sure. Come on. Rotate, rotate, rotate. If anything, the understeer feels worse in this compared to the MAN. Definitely. It's just pushing on everywhere. Come on. One of the things I do enjoy about driving the trucks, though, even if they are broken, is you can't just simply steer it, turn it in and just hope it goes in. You've got to put a bit of work in to actually get the thing to do what you want. Even then, you're not guaranteed that it will. I'm also trying to get one of these rather heavy things stopped down the hill is no mean feat. I reckon the MAN truck's going to be quicker than this. 230 kilometers an hour in a truck. It's a bit loud, really. Stop! But I do love big power slides everywhere. It's very fun. There we go. 243.6. Oh, right. That's 2 of the 4 trucks done. So, Merc truck. How does this compare? The 243.6. Ooh, it's exactly 2/10 quicker than the MAN. Surprising, actually. Right. Swiftly moving on. Get to see Riser's attention to detail behind the barriers. Yes, you do. You get to see a little bit more of what you wouldn't normally see. Yeah, you can see for miles. Right, next. Mark that one off. 81 on the list. Hasn't been done yet, so that's good. We're in to some more touring car action. We're going to be showing the first of 2 Mitsubishi Lancers. This is the Mitsubishi Lancer R, so the slower of the 2 classes, without the massive wing on the back. Number 69, obviously on the top of the list here. We know how quick he is. But yeah, so this is the entry level one. I believe this is like an arrive and drive kind of setup with most of these Lancers. You kind of turn up and race them at various tracks around Brazil. But 4-wheel drive, 300 brake horsepower standard. So yeah, could be a lot of fun. The RS version is really awesome actually to drive. I'm sure this will be just as good. Excuse me. Oops. Okay, I'm going to use the paddles because these cars do have paddles. I was very fortunate to drive an Evo 10 around Sonoma as part of a prize that I won for winning one of their hot lap competitions for what was Sim Racery back in the day. And they flew me over to Sonoma for a couple of days for a performance driving course, so got to chuck one of these things around in various challenges and time on track as well. So I do know the Evo 10 is incredibly capable. There's so much grip. Good fun to drive. This 5th gear is very long. Okay, here we go. Up the mountain we go again. Go to the chase. A little dab of brakes just to keep the car under control. Took it in, use the camber. Boost up again. Trying to get around on me there. It's feisty. 5th gear just doesn't work very well on a track in this thing. Rally style into Reed Park. Stop. Yes, the gearing is very odd actually. Pretty sure it wasn't like that when I drove it. 4-wheel drive through Skyline, yeah, I know. That was fun. I enjoyed that. So this one obviously should be slower than the RS version, which we will try eventually when we get through to that particular car. flat through the chase, sideways through the chase. Yeah, that's better. Catch the curb nicely. Just don't bother with fifth. There we go. Another mid 230s, 236.7. Lancer R. 236.799. So where does that put that in relation to other cars then? So it's quicker than the Honda Kart, which we kind of assume. The MAN trucks, the trucks are running 243, so we're only 7 seconds quicker than them. 3 seconds slower than the Formula Ford, the Formula Trainer, and the old stock car as well. So it's interesting to see how they all kind of stack up. And the old stock car and the Formula Ford are pretty much equal on time. So even though the what's it called, the little single seater was severely underpowered compared to it, it was still up there. Cars great in thunderstorm at the Nordschleife, just turn off the TC first. Yeah, I can imagine that could be a lot of fun actually. Definitely. Right, so that one's done. Next. Okay, this is a bit different. So we are going into the GT5 class, and we're going to be running the Puma P052, which it's not a very nice looking car. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not a fan of the look of this thing really, but we'll see what it's like to drive and see how it stacks up in terms of time compared to everything else. So what have we got? 165 horsepower, so quite light on power. 4-wheel drive, he reckons. Okay. And a 5-speed H pattern. This could be interesting. Oh, it's got hiccups. Right, here we go. So I don't really know an awful lot about this particular car, so I'm not going to pretend to know everything about it. But this could be one of those cars which has the potential to cause a surprise, both in terms of how it performs on track, but also what it's like to drive. So let's get into it. The not Miata. I suppose it is kind of similar-ish to an MX-5 Miata, I suppose. Does it use any of the similar parts? I don't know. Come on, we can make 5th gear. It's another Evo. Well, it certainly grips nicely. You can't turn it there with no problem. Yeah, I don't think it would be 4-wheel drive. I wasn't expecting it to be. It might be an error on the info page. I'm not going to try and test that theory by absolutely booting it everywhere. Just to try and see if the rear end comes around. Can't see where I'm going because the dashboard's so high up. It's sat so low. Well, actually, so far, I'm going to reserve judgment until I get over the top of the skyline, probably onto the Conrod Straight. Hopefully I can actually see where I'm going coming down here. A little bit of wall that just juts out going into there. Got to be aware of. Okay, that was actually incredibly nice to drive. I'm going to say that was really fun. Kind of slides around quite nicely. Getting a bit of stuff there going on here. Just fifth gear just completely kills it. But the actual handling of the car was really nice. Balance the car quite nicely on the power. Yeah, it's definitely quite pleasant to drive. Yeah, pretty slow, but I quite like that actually. I might have to spend some more time with it, I think, because that was quite enjoyable actually. Yeah, the noise is quite fun. Yes, it's turbocharged obviously, you can hear the chatters and things going on from the wastegates, but it was yeah, that was quite fun. Puma GT5 and 243.609. Yeah, not blisteringly quick, gonna be honest, but when you got a full grid of those, I'm sure that'd be quite a bit of fun. 200 kilometers an hour in the tailwind. But then there's a few cars that would be struggling for top end speed. Okay, next. Oh boy. Well, there's cars that struggle for top end speed, there's cars that struggle to get 200 kilometers an hour in a tailwind. And then there's this. It's Group C's! Yes! This is going to be epic. Okay, we're in the 962C, Porsche's finest Group C sports car. One of their very few Group C sports cars, but nonetheless, one of their finest Group C sports cars. Yeah, I don't quite know what I'm going to expect with this. I mean, it's going to be quick, obviously, in a straight line. Last time I drove the Group C cars, I absolutely loved them. They were brilliant. But I haven't driven them at Bathurst, so who knows what we're into here. Okay, let's wind up that boost. I still love this thing. This is so good. Okay, here we go. Let's try and give this a good effort. Turbo noise is just stunning. Oh, lift off! Oh, wow. Oh, I missed the camber a little bit there. Okay. Oh, it's taken off over the top there again. All things went a little bit quiet. Went a little bit quiet over the top of the hill there, because boy, you got to concentrate. Yeah, watch out for air. Yes, definitely air to be had. Funnily enough, Group C never raced at Bathurst. It's probably for good reason. Wow, okay. What a ride that was. That was awesome. This is so fun. It'll be interesting to see what the Sauber C9's like on there as well. Porsche 962C. we did a 1:55, sub 2 minutes for the first time in quite a while actually. Last time we went sub 2 minutes was the Formula V12, and that was 9 cars ago, so it's good to get back under that 2 minute barrier. So 1:55.52. Okay, just looking where that would sit. 1, 2, 4, 5. It's put us 6th overall so far. So yeah, obviously a lot of the F1 cars are very, very quick, but that was good fun. I know they made some changes. Once I did my original video on the Group C cars, I think there were some changes made to them, but happy to report that they are still amazing to drive. So yeah, that was good. Okay, it's a shame because some of these cars are just like, oh, I just want to do more laps because that was just so fun, but we can't. We have to relentlessly march on to do all of these cars. So next on the list, number 30, which we've already done, so we don't have to do that one again. It's good. 12. Okay, bit of a difference in power. We are back in some touring cars. Gol FL. This one. So this is the. I always get confused between this. You've got the 2 Copa Classic ones, and I think this is just the B spec cars, if I'm right in thinking. But we're in the. It's effectively a Golf. Well, Gol it's called, but yeah. So 170 brake horsepower, front-wheel drive, 4-speed H pattern once again to play with. Quite different from my Porsche 962C, going to be honest. I unfortunately feel we're going to be back over the 2 minute barrier. If anything, the challenge is more in adapting from car to car. Of course, being front wheel drive now, we can get out of some of our problems of oversteer when we floor the throttle, so I'm hoping to not have too many oversteering moments. And again, we get a chance to take in our surroundings on the straight. I mean, the gearing's probably not as bad as it is. It's just because we're going up such a steep hill. It just takes all of the sting out of it. Okay. Ooh, back end coming around on this then. No, keep it out of that barrier. No, let's ride the wall. Just when those revs die, you're just like, oh, really? So I'm wandering all over the track at the moment. Okay, back down the hill. We have gravity on our side. Hopefully not by going off the left-hand side. I really need to have more caution going through there because it catches me out every single time. Okay. Right, so we know what we're dealing with a bit more now. That's the problem, when you crash one of these slower cars, it's like, oh man, all to do again. Still pushing on. So far, what's been your favourite car that we've driven? Let us know in the comments, what's your favourite one that we've had so far? think I know which one mine is. It's interesting to know what you guys think. Yeah, the 962 was fine, but the Mighty Gol was too much. Yes, defeated me with its undrivable nature. That's so true. Right, this time, a bit more caution off the top of the hill. Literally two pedalling for most of that, braking and putting the power on to try and keep the car heading in some kind of direction. Does this thing even have tyres? The V10 Gen 2. No, I don't think I have done that one yet, but the McLaren V10 was, yeah, that was good. Yeah. Some vibrations coming through the steering wheel, coming down the straight here, with those tyres complaining at me. This thing just doesn't go in a straight line anywhere. It's all that torque, power. A 245.6, and we've crossed the line. It's a massive size of relief all round. the Gol FL was a 245.690, a hard fought 245 actually. I'm going to put out there because yeah, I felt like I actually had to work to get that one. Yeah, see the 962, that was my pick as well, I must be honest. It was very, very good. The Procar was nice though. The Procar was nice. Group C is funny, but they're very funky. Yeah, I think so. You can take those anywhere and just have a real laugh with it. The Pumas are overpowered around here, look at that. We'll come on to them later, I'm sure. But for now, that's that one done. And we move on. Done that one. Done that one. We're getting to the stage now where we're checking off ones which we've already driven. We haven't done this one. So we are now into the realms of P4. I've forgotten already what it is. The MCR. So this one here. This car is actually really fun. I actually like this one. This one is good. I mean, the P4 cars are slightly lesser powered than obviously the rest of the prototype cars, but this one is it's really nice. It does move around quite a bit, but yeah, it's quite a nice balanced car. I'll say that now before I get to the top of Skyline, and then I'll retract that statement when I put it sideways into the wall, like I've done with most of the cars around here. This thing screams as well, so it sounds really good. What's also nice is to have a car with gearing which makes sense. Even fifth gear. Okay, don't need to board. attack the corner, keep the momentum going up the hill. Good so far. This is quite a good combination. God, moving around a lot there. Just love how you can just chuck it into the dipper. Just a slight graze with the wall, but we're okay. Well, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Over the top of the mountain. It's brilliant. Only 5 gears. So maxing out on the red line. I do love this car. So good. That was an enjoyable lap. 2:16.6. The MCR. MCR P4, which is 2:16.629. Where does that stack up? So we are quicker than the Camaro GT4 by 3 seconds. What else? What else is nearby? Marginally slower than the Rocco, not too much slower, only like a second and a half maybe. So that's not bad going actually. Good one, like that. Okay. Next up. 15. Have we done that one? Don't know if we have. We haven't. Okay. I've done something similar, and that tried my patience. We're back in the Beatles. This is the Copa Fusca. I'm hoping that this one is better behaved than the last one we drove. But at least I can remember that, rear engine, rear wheel drive. Just need to be careful with it, that's all. Just need to watch that throttle application and watch that corner entry speed, and we'll be alright. We will. Promise. I intend to only do this once. Explain this quote. Listen carefully. I will say this only once. Okay, come on then, little beetle. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Not the greatest run to start the lap, but nevertheless, we're up and away. Yes, bananas is definitely how it's going to go. If this behaves the same over the top, yeah, it's not going to be enjoyable. You just need to be gentle with it, persuasive. Don't try and force it to do something it doesn't want to do. Like go down to third gear for turn 2. Little beetle. Wheel spin followed by bogging down. So you're probably going to get the trend that a lot of these cars are going to be over the 2-minute mark in terms of lap time. It's because there's quite a few slower cars in the lineup. Sometimes the slower cars make for the most entertaining drives, as you've probably seen. Right. That's not third gear territory right there. Whoa! Thank you all for straightening me up, much appreciated. No! Let's do a quick J-turn. I got so far through the top of the mountain I wasn't going to give up on that one. So, not going to be its full representative time. But, I'm not going to subject myself to another lap. Porsche Cup Beta, yes. Just when the rear end goes, you really just have little to no hope of getting it back. Yeah, exactly. So what are you going to do to warm yourself up for today? I'm going to drive a Porsche 962, and then I'm going to turn up for the main event in my VW Beetle. 3 minutes 9. Dear me. So I'm going to put this out there. We put this down as one of the hidden gems in AMS2. You may be questioning that decision right now, as I am too, actually. However, I think on a regular circuit, it's pretty good to drive. I think it's just because of the nature of this track and the and the camber changes and the changes in the road. It just upsets it. I think it just gets a little upset. It doesn't like it. But with practice and training, I'm sure it'll become slightly drivable. Okay, next. Happy to move on from that. 61. Ooh, okay. Another stark contrast. Slow cars are easy to drive. Yes, they are. Of course they are. Okay, so jumping from the Beetle to this Mercedes-Benz CLK GT1. And of course the Nemesis has driven this because I'm not surprised, because this thing is probably going to be quite good. He wants to kill it at every track, doesn't it? So I drove it at Velo Park and it was alright there. You can kind of get away with it, but yeah, I don't know, just around here it's just no, not happy. Okay, V8 power. Now, question is, am I going to Mark Webber this? We'll find out very soon, I'm sure. So it sounds better than the Mercedes-Benz truck. I have high hopes that it will. It depends if the front wheels are on the ground. Oh, we are. Quick so far. There, I go too wide towards the wall then. again, fast, dangerous cars, far easier to drive than Mount Panorama. Pretty cool. Oh, we didn't quite break the 2-minute barrier. 2 minutes dead. 0.04. Good noise on that one as well. The transmission whine sounds pretty sweet. So, Merc GT1. 2 minutes dead. 0.044. Not too bad actually in terms of overall times. I mean, what's that compared to? So it's 5 seconds slower than the 962. Probably can get more out of that as well if I was braver over the top. But yeah, it is, isn't it? Downforce is really one of those things. It's like, yeah, you know what? We can get used to that. Very nice. Okay, right, next on the list. What have we got? 98, have we had that one? We have, that's the M1 Procar. 92, okay. So, Metalmoro P3. Now there's two different Metalmoros in P3. This one is the Honda variant, which is this one, which has the massive air intake. Yeah, next one would have been a 159 for sure. Yeah, I could definitely have taken more time off that. But this thing is, again, not something I've driven properly. I've only dabbled with it, haven't done many laps in it. But you'd expect this to be quicker than the MCR, because that was a P4 car. So, I'll see if that happens. It's 390 brake horsepower. Again, a downforce orientated body shell on it. So let's see what it can do. My not particularly capable hands. Bit of understeer there, but hopefully that'll be easy to manage as we go. It's definitely not getting into the apexes as well as the MCR did. Of course, all these laps are taking part on a track which is optimised because it's all on the time trial leaderboards. So there shouldn't be any variation in track temperatures or anything like that. So far, not too bad over the top, especially the higher speeds with the downforce kicking in. Almost take that flat through that. A bit too wide into here. Getting more track, you see I have to kind of slow it down a little bit more just to get the car stopped for the elbow. Yeah, I can imagine, especially if we get something like, say, the M6 GT3. This thing would look minute. So I'm assuming these take part in the Brazilian Endurance Championship. 2 minutes 15, another one in that kind of ballpark, which is proving to be quite a popular time on the board actually. So this is the, what did I say, what's it? Metalmoro Honda P3. To the 2:15.501. Yeah, so again, that's pretty much a similar time to the M1 Procar. The M1 Procar was slightly quicker actually. 70s technology for the win there, which is good. Okay. Probably going to have a couple more here just to round out part 1. So let's see what we can get here. Hope we can get some good ones to finish off the evening with. 72's been done. Number 1, straight to the top of the list. Okay, so that is going to take us right to the very top. It's the Aussie racing car, the Camaro, in what you could call its natural habitat. So here we go, let's try this thing out. This thing is a blast to drive as well. Bike engined, rear-wheel drive, little silhouette space frame type car. Pinched in the bodywork, a little bit squashed and narrow, but yeah, an awful lot of fun to drive. So this could be a good one. Could be a good run. Again, massive revs, being a bike engine. Let's see what this thing can do. Not going to be particularly fast in a straight line, but let's try not to shift down to first gear if we can avoid it. I'm definitely going to lose an awful lot of time with the 2 big straights, I think. Anyone's seen there was a race that they did with the Aussie racing cars around Bathurst. I think it was here anyway. There was a monumental off on the Commonwealth Straight, I think it was. It just completely destroyed the car. So I know their build's very strong inside anyway. Kept it pinned through there, not much of a lift. This thing is really, really cool to drive. Now the ultimate test. Good thing is, because it's so narrow, this part of the track feels quite wide. Commonwealth Straight we go once again. Flat through here easily. Think about 125 again. We're up to the line 236. That's actually pretty slow. I was expecting it to be a bit quicker than that, to be honest, but okay. So the Aussie racing car did a 236.269. Yeah, it's quite a long way down. I mean, it's well, it's the same kind of time as that Lancer that we did earlier. That was a 236 as well. That's interesting. Okay, one more then for the evening. Please be a good one. Please have a nice one here. We don't want the rental car or anything like that. So fill in our Camaro here. Last one on the list. Okay, that's not a bad way to end, I suppose. It's not spectacular, but it's it should be a decent lap anyway. We are in the GT4 class in the Cayman. So what we're looking for here, we're looking to try and beat the Camaro, which was a 219.5. So if we can get any quicker than that, or anywhere near that, that'd be good. Alright, well I hope you've enjoyed our stream this evening. I mean, it's been just a case of hot lapping at various different cars, but some of them have been more challenging than others, but I hope you have enjoyed it. We'll look to finish this off another time, because there's plenty more cars which we haven't yet driven, which we really do want to. So let's see if we can finish off on a high note with the Cayman. If you have enjoyed the stream this evening, please do consider hitting the like button below. It really does help us in terms of getting the channel out there and generally expanding our reach so that more people can see what we do. So I really appreciate that. That's deep. That's very deep. I reckon a 218 might be okay. Well, hopefully we can get near that if we can keep the Porsche going in the right way. So lift out the throttle a little bit there because the wall was coming up at me. Oh, things moving around. Oh, all the dirt. There you go, oversteer into the elbow. Wasn't the tidiest of laps, I'm going to say, but at least we didn't clip any walls. I suppose that's the main thing. Okay, here we go. Let's finish this off better than we started. We'll just completely miss the apex, one of the two. 221.2. That's partly down to my my errors, I think, but well, there we go. So that's part one of our all vehicles versus the mountain series. We've got through quite a few this evening, and there's plenty more where they came from. We'll put the results, as we say, up on our social media just to document where we're up to so far, so you can get an idea of where things stack up and where your favourite cars may end up in the leaderboard as well. Again, big thank you to everyone who tunes in and watches our streams. You really are amazing for doing so, and we really appreciate you being a part of our team and being here with us, so big thank you to you guys. But again, hope you've enjoyed the stream, and we will all come back together again and do some more very, very soon. So take care of yourselves, have a very wonderful rest of your weekend, and we will catch you all very, very soon indeed.